For this week's video, we're going to be painting another airbrush sketch, and what we're going to be doing in this one is using the same techniques that we used from the last two, the pig and the German shepherd. But this time, I'm going to spend a bit more time tightening up some of the lines and smoothing out some of the gradients, so this final sketch is going to look a little bit more refined and not as loose as the last two. But with that said, it's still a sketch, it's not a photorealistic painting, so I'm going to be adding some outlines in some certain areas which are going to help flatten the image, give it a bit of a cartoon look, and I am going to be using some loose sketching in a few areas, especially with the eraser, just to make it look like it's hand-drawn. So if you want to paint this one for yourself, here's the photo of my completed sketch, and you're more than welcome to use this as your reference. I drew this one out using a grid, just because it makes it a bit more fun for me to do, but if you want to print it out and trace it, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, one thing I want to mention is that because this sketch is a little bit more detailed than the last one, it took me a bit longer to do, probably about an hour, maybe an hour and 20 minutes or so. But even if you're just starting out, this one might look a little bit more advanced than the last one, but it's still relatively easy to paint. I promise you that. Anyone with some basic airbrush control can do this one. But like anything in art, drawing, or painting, it's going to take some work and some effort. Mistakes are going to come up, but they can always be fixed. The first thing that I'm doing here is using some black paint reduced about 20% with distilled water, so say about 8 parts paint to 2 parts water. And the acrylic paint, or actually the acrylic ink that I'm using for this one, is Schmincke Aero Colors, and again, the color is black for the entirety of this painting. Now from here, as I start painting in the eye and the head of this osprey, I'm switching over to a more reduced version of this black paint. It's about 3 parts reducer, which is distilled water, to 1 part paint. And what I'm doing here is following my graphite lines to start painting in the contour around the outside of the eye. I'm spraying right around 25 psi here, and I'm spraying air the entire time, so my trigger finger is always pressing down. As I follow my graphite pencil lines, I just slightly pull back on the trigger, following the contour that I have drawn in. And because I'm doing this freehand, I'm going to get a softer edge on both sides of this line. Now you might notice here with this over-reduced version of the black paint, it's going on a lot lighter than the paint that I use for the pupil. So I'm going to be using this over-reduced version to slowly build up the values. When it's over-reduced like this, it's also a lot easier to erase, so any mistakes are going to be very easy to fix. Then once I get everything in place, I'm going to switch over to that normal reduction of paint, about 20% or so, to start darkening up the values. If you look at my completed sketch on the left side of the screen, what I'm doing here is blocking in these dark values surrounding the eye, just a little bit over to the left where the tear duct is, and then those darker feathers just to the left. And I'm trying to apply the paint very lightly, so it doesn't matter if I'm using a normal reduction of paint or an over-reduced version like I'm using here. The most important thing is trigger control. I'm just slightly pulling back on that airbrush trigger. This way I'm spraying less paint for these first few steps to give myself a lighter value. When I want to go darker with the value later on, I'm going to spray more paint. Now that I have some of these values blocked in, I'm going to switch over to my eraser, and the first thing that I'm doing here is pulling out some of the paint along the top part of the pupil where we have a specular highlight. Then I'm going to sketch out a very thin line to the left of the eye where there's some light hitting that, and then just above the eye where we have this thin line following the outer contour of it. I'll also use my eraser at the bottom of the eye to clean up some overspray and refine that edge, just help sharpen it up a bit. For these first steps, I'm using a more aggressive eraser, so just a light amount of pressure is needed to help lift up the paint. Now this next part can be a little bit tricky, especially if you're starting out. What we're going to do is paint in a very thin line just below the eye. It's going to be a very thin shadow in here. To paint in a thin line, I'm holding the airbrush closer to the surface. That's going to get a more narrow part of that spray pattern. Then I'm going to start on the left side, spray air first, slightly pull back on the trigger, and then just continue this over, following my graphite line underneath. I'm essentially just painting right over it. And then I'm going to extend that line over to the left side into that shadow that we painted earlier. I'm painting this one on claybord, so if I messed up that line, I can just use my eraser, fully remove it, and try it again. So the techniques that I'm using for this one are very forgiving. If you do make a mistake, which of course is going to happen, you just remove it and do it again. I lightly sprayed another thin layer of paint over a few areas around the eye. It was probably even hard to see, just very lightly applying it to make these values a little bit darker. And what I'm going to do from here is switch over to my eraser and clean up this line that I just painted in underneath the eye. It's a little blotchy part of this line where I sprayed too much paint, so you'll see I use my eraser just to remove some of it along the top. That helps sharpen it up. And then I'll continue with my eraser within this highlight to remove some of that overspray that I painted in earlier, so we just get a clean area of claybord. And at this point in the painting, we're maybe 3-4 minutes into it, and we already have the first layer of the eye painted in. It's already starting to look like it. And we're going to push this much further later on by darkening up some of the values around the eye. So from here, I want to start painting in the rest of the head using the same paint, that over-reduced version of black. Just below the eye, I'm going to paint in a few thin parallel lines next to each other. This is similar to hatching and drawing. And it's going to help to set in the placement of this shadow later on. Then I'll paint in a few lines along the top to make it look like the edges of feathers, and then apply a light glaze over those hatching lines at the bottom. And you can see when I sprayed in that glaze of paint, I focused a little bit more on the top so we get a gradient here. A bit darker on top, lighter as it moves down. This next part is really good airbrush control practice. What I'm doing here is painting a thin outline along the outer contour of this beak. I'm starting at the bottom here. So like I mentioned earlier, I want a relatively tighter line here, so I'm holding the airbrush closer to the surface. I'm spraying air the entire time, and as I start moving the airbrush, I just slightly move the trigger back to start spraying paint. And I just spray a smaller section of these lines at a time. I'm not just doing the whole thing in one shot. I spray a little bit. At the end of each stroke, I move the trigger forward. That stops the paint flow. For the left side of this beak, I'm going to paint in a wider line along the top. So as I work my way up here, I'm moving the airbrush a little bit farther back from the surface. That gives me a wider part of the spray pattern. For this last outline along the right side, I want it sharper. So I'm holding the airbrush closer to the surface, but the same technique, just slightly pulling back on that airbrush trigger. This way I'm not spraying too much paint, so it keeps that line light and it's not spitting and it's not spidering out on the surface. And just a reminder that dark outlines like this are going to flatten the image. It's going to give it a stylized look. For a realistic painting like this horse that I painted this last year, you're going to see that there's no outlines. All the values blend from one to the next. So in this osprey bird sketch, it's still a representational painting just like the horse, but the style is different. The dark outlines in some parts are just part of that style change. And of course, these are only 2 styles out of many, but you get to decide which style and techniques are best for you. Some are going to try to, but no one gets to decide that for you. So what I'm doing here is adding some shadow values within the beak. You can see my completed painting that along the left side, I have some darker values in there. So I'm just slowly building up this paint, just slightly rocking back the trigger, and I'm always moving my airbrush just a little bit when I'm spraying paint. This way paint doesn't build up in one area, doesn't start to look blotchy. I added a little bit more paint along the left side to help darken up that part of the beak, and then I'm also going to spray a bit along the right side where it transitions from the beak to the feathers. When I sprayed in those values, I was holding the airbrush a little bit farther back from the surface to get a wider part of the spray pattern, and I didn't mask off the background, so overspray is going to get back there. It's kind of hard to see the overspray on video with these bright lights, but I want to make sure I remove it before I go any further. So I'm using a few different erasers, just making a few passes on the claybord and removing it right from the surface. I'm also using the more aggressive eraser in a few parts here just to help sharpen up and refine the edge of the beak. Along the left side of the skull, just to the right of the beak, there's a very thin line in there, so I'm just going to paint that in just like I showed before, airbrush very close to the surface. And then I'm going to continue adding a few more layers of paint into these shadows here, just build up that gradient so we have some parts rounding away from the light source. And just a reminder, because it's a monochrome sketch, meaning it's all done in one color, the values get darker by spraying more paint. So I'm keeping the values light for now, getting everything in place, and one thing I want to do here is add in this brighter highlight along the top part of the beak. So you can see I'm using a soft eraser, just drawing it in. To the right of the beak, we have the nostril in here, so I'm just going to paint in the basic shape of it. It's kind of like an oval semicircle shape, and I have my pencil lines underneath, so I'm just painting over those. And while I'm painting in some of these small details and thin lines, I'm barely even pulling back on the trigger. It's more like applying a little bit of pressure backwards. This is a very responsive airbrush, so just a little bit of pressure backward on that trigger retracts the needle a tiny bit and sprays a very small amount of paint. This way I can build up these layers like this so lightly. So using that technique, you can see that I painted in the left contour or the outline of the neck just below the beak, and I also painted a small line to the right of it. There's a bit of a shadow in there. Then I'm going to hold the airbrush a little bit farther back from the surface, spray some paint on the top so we get some value in this whole area, make it look like a bit of a shadow underneath the beak. Moving along to the top part of the skull, I'm going to start just to the right of the beak and extend this line all the way up and around. There's also a few lines that extend down from that outer contour. It's going to look like some feathers later on, so you can see that I'm painting those in as well. Same technique. At this point, I'm essentially painting in a bunch of thin lines here, and I adjust the width of them by how close or how far the airbrush is from the surface. For a thinner line, the airbrush is closer. For a wider line, I back the airbrush off a little bit. For this group of dark feathers to the right of the eye, the first thing I'm doing is painting in the edges. You can see that I painted in the top part of this first, just to get the edge in place, and then I painted a few lines following the curves of the feathers along the lower left-hand side. Once those edges are in place, I'm going to back the airbrush off the surface like I'm doing here and start spraying an even value to fill in the center of this. As I went down to the right, I sprayed a little bit less paint because we're going to be erasing those edges in later. Now just above that, there's some feathers here, essentially some lines drawn in, so I'm going to paint those in with the airbrush very close to the surface. Now from here, I'm going to add a small gradient within the center of the face. There's a very subtle shadow in here, so I just lightly spray in some paint, just slightly pulling back on the trigger to add that shadow value in. It's very light here, it's kind of tough to see on video, but this part is just going to look like it's rounding away from the light source, add a bit of depth to the painting. So now at this point we have the head in place and the values are in the correct position so we can start darkening everything up. So I'm switching over to my normal reduction of paint, not the over-reduced version. This is about 8 parts paint to 2 parts distilled water. As I paint these in, you're going to see the value is going to be a lot darker because there's less reduction to this paint. And also in a few parts of this, I'm also pulling a little bit farther back on the trigger. So I'm applying more pigment to the surface. And as you know, the more pigments applied to the surface, the darker the value is going to be. After I add in some of this dark value, I'm going to come in with a soft eraser, refine the edge of the pupil, and also pull out some light within that specular highlight on top. I noticed that the soft eraser wasn't removing enough paint, so I switched over to the more aggressive one for that specular highlight and made it a lot brighter. And I'm also going to use that soft eraser to help remove some overspray from that highlight below the eye. I'll add some more paint to the left of the eye to help darken it up and then use that soft eraser to redraw in that highlight. And then I'll continue spraying that paint along the left side to darken up this really dark group of feathers and also paint a few lines that radiate out from the center. I also need to darken up the right side of this eye and I'll also paint a few lines extending out so it looks like some feathers in here. After darkening up the nostril and the area below the eye, I'm going to repaint in the outer contour along the top part of the head. Then once I get those in, I'm going to switch over to my eraser and just help refine these edges. Like for example, at the top part of the skull along the left side, I painted that in too dark. So all I do is make a quick pass over it with a soft eraser, and you can see that it helps lighten the value in there, but that line still stays. It's just softer and lighter. I'm going to start on the left side of the beak, spraying some more paint in there where it's darker, and then as I move up to the right side, I'm spraying less paint so I get a gradient in there. I did the same thing for the lower part of the beak and then repainted in the outer contours of it to help darken those up and sharpen up the lines. Now before I go any further, because I wasn't using any sort of masks or shields, I want to make sure to clean up any overspray within the background. So that's what I'm doing here with my eraser. You'll also see that I'm using my eraser to refine the edge, help sharpen it up a bit more, and also pull out some highlights like the one along the top part of the beak. So I'd say that's good enough for the eye and the left side of the beak for now. So from here, let's darken up these group of feathers to the right. I'm starting on the left side, painting in the edges, just a few lines that kind of radiate out from the center of this darker value. And then once I get that in, I'll just fill in a few areas within the center to help darken up the value within here. I want to make the left edge of this look a little bit more like feathers, so I'm using my eraser here to draw in some lines from the brighter part into that shadow and just sketch all the way down. Then I'll paint in the top edge of this with the airbrush a little bit closer to the surface for a sharper line, and then fill in that contour along the top part of the skull as well. For the right side of this is some texture to this group of feathers. It's almost like little triangle shapes. So you can see that I'm just drawing in those edges first with the airbrush. I'm keeping them a little bit softer now because I know that I'm going to refine those edges and sharpen them up with the eraser later on. Then I use my eraser to sketch in those two little highlights along the top so I don't lose my place. And then I'm going to continue adding more paint into this to help darken it. I noticed at this point that a few areas within the beak were just looking a little bit too light, so you can see what I'm doing here, just using the airbrush to spray more paint over a few areas like the outer contours and into the darker shadows. And then a few more layers of paint into that group of feathers to the right of the eye. Now it's not at the full final value yet, we're still going to have to go darker with it, it's eventually going to be pure black. But at the value that I'm at right here, I'm going to use my eraser to refine those edges along the right side. You can see I'm just drawing them in, sharpening up the edges. I'll also use that eraser with the sharp point to draw in a few of these highlight feathers along the top. There's like 2 or 3 up here. Just above the right side of the eye, I need a little bit of a brighter value there. So you can see I drew that in with my eraser, and now I'm just going to rework a few areas along the left side of these dark feathers. Essentially just drawing in the shapes that I see. And you'll notice here that I started with that very light value first to go darker and darker to make this process a lot more forgiving for me. If anything was completely wrong during those early stages with the light value of paint, it's so easy just to use that eraser, remove it, and start again. But once I got all those values in nice and lightly and adjusted them with the eraser, I just made sure they were accurate before going darker and darker. So the process is just a lot more forgiving and easier this way. Now moving along to the back of the bird, I'm going to start with a freehand shield to mask off the background and then spray a light amount of paint to the left. This gives me something to erase into, so I'm going to switch over to my eraser and start drawing in some of these lighter lines. I'm switching over to that darker, less reduced version of black, and anytime I'm spraying in the wing values here, I'm masking off the background so I don't have to deal with the overspray back there. Before we paint in the major part of the wing, I'm focusing on these two parts that you can see in my completed painting. And what I did for these is very simple. I just added in some paint first using a freehand shield to mask off the background. And then for these highlight values within the feathers, I drew them in very loosely with the eraser to make this look a little bit more like a drawing. Once I get a few of those drawn in, you're going to see I'm going to use my airbrush here to spray in some darker values in between them, focusing a little bit more paint toward the bottom, and I use a shield to mask that off. That way I get a sharp edge along the bottom part of this, and I'll continue with the airbrush freehand to spray in some paint along those feathers in between those highlights on the top as well. Now I didn't mask off the top part of this as I was spraying them in, so there's overspray back there. Same thing, I'll use that eraser, clean it up. While I'm using the eraser, I can also use it to help clean up the left side of this, sharpen up some of the edges here, and just draw in a few of these lines. Now from here, we're going to move along to the wing, and the first thing that I want to do here is just get some paint down to cover it up. I could use something like Frisket film to mask this off, but I'm going for a quicker painting, so I'm just using a freehand shield anytime I spray near the edges. I line my freehand shield up with the outer contours of the wing, and then I spray some paint down, trying to get a relatively even value of black paint in here. Then I use a large soft eraser to remove some overspray and clean up the edges. Once that's done, I'm going to start drawing in all these little highlights within the wing using an eraser. I sprayed a light value of that black paint down on this part of the wing so you can easily see my pencil lines right through it. So I'm just drawing in these highlights right on top of those. I'll speed up the video here because it's the same techniques over and over, but I'm doing this pretty quickly and roughly drawing in these shapes to give that final painting, that hand-drawn sketch look that I'm going for. Once I get some of those in, I'm going to switch over to the airbrush freehand and spray some paint in between them, focusing a little bit more paint along the left side of each one of these. And as I paint along the left side of the wing, you're going to see me using that large shield to mask off the left side of it, so I spray some paint to the right. And because I sprayed this paint over the top of everything, it covered up a lot of my lines, so I'm just going to redraw them back in. And then I just continue using that technique in the wing here, adding paint and then removing it with the eraser to try to draw in all the shapes that I'm seeing. And once I get all those painted in, this is what the painting looks like head on right now. So we got the head painted in and the wing. And you can see here the loose drawing technique that I used to draw on those highlights on the wing really help add to that sketch or drawing look that I'm going for. So that's where we're going to wrap up the first part of this video. Next Friday, I'll post the final part of this video where we'll finish up painting in the body, some of the feathers, the feet, and of course that tree branch at the bottom. Thank you all so much for watching and for being here. And finally, before I go, of course, I want to give a thank you and a warm welcome to the newest channel members. So thank you to Sun, Space Winter, Mad Dog, Mini Magnet, Annette, and Gary. And also thank you to Hal and to Anders, Pablo, Reagan, and Israel for resubscribing. Thank you all so much for your very generous support. Take care, everyone. Be well. Make sure you get some time in painting or drawing, and I will see you back here next Friday.